Hello and welcome to the second edition of Service Matters, our new way of communicating across the service. It's been a busy week with a spike in grass and outdoor fires, and thanks to all the crews for the efforts they've put into that. I would encourage everybody to stay hydrated and to think about quicker rotation of crews if it's particularly tiresome in the sunshine. We had a fire death last week in Oakham. Sadly, an 80-year-old woman was the victim. Nick Stanborough has led the post-incident response, working alongside the local crews and the community education team, and Wayne Gale has carried out the fire investigation. We had the Corporate Governance Committee. That's a committee that sits under the Combined Fire Authority and it looks at the performance of the service. There were reports on internal and external audit, and we had a fairly clean bill of health on both with no high-risk recommendations. For many of you, it will not necessarily seem a great task to bring forward the financial reporting, the end-of-year budget. However, that was brought forward at the behest of central government, and the finance team, led by Adam Stretton and working with Philippa Brown, have pulled out all the stops to make sure that that was done, so well done to them. The performance areas that they were particularly interested in at Corporate Governance Committee were around sickness levels and the high prevalence of mental health and what we are doing about that, and also the availability of on-call firefighters, where appliance availability is currently down as low as 58%, so they were keen to know our short, medium and long-term plans to address that. They're also speaking to us about the service development programme, and the projects they were particularly interested in were the occupation of Wigston Fire Station, and the crew moved into their new accommodation there last weekend, which is an excellent step forward, and also our collaboration with the police on drones. We will provide pilots to operate the drones which they supply, and also the aerial ladder platform, the height that it will be able to get to and whether or not it will reach our highest buildings. So we explained to them about how we use aerial ladder platforms at incidents and how we also fight fires internally. We spoke to them about the national framework, and there's a new one out now. The national framework sets the government's expectations of fire and rescue services, and if you Google National Framework Fire 2018, you'll find it's the top hit. We explained to them about the focus on core duties that they expect us to carry out, but how we can still focus on our core duties while working in collaboration with and for other organisations, and them with and on behalf of us. Finally, and quite excitingly, if you work in data management, the incident recording system had a massive boost this week when we introduced our own piece of middleware, which means that we will complete data on our own system and not directly onto the government's IRS. This means that we will be able to add our own questions in time, which will help us to know the types of incidents that we're going to, and importantly, the types of people that are causing those incidents. And it also means that we're not reliant on the government servers, which as many of you are aware, go down from time to time and prevent us from being able to complete the IRS data. So Karen Klein and Paul Bottrell have worked particularly hard on that, so thanks to them for getting that in place, and many of you, as I say, will start to see the advantages of that in time. That concludes today's update, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend and continue to enjoy the sunshine.